Everybody wants to be faster, more explosive, and have the ability to change direction at a dime. It's all good and well, but things like that don't normally just happen overnight. There's a progression, and there's a way to approach making these things happen. Some athletes are absolutely gifted and they're able to just pick up on things quickly. Others need to actually work for it, and they need to train to make it actually happen. One of the biggest mistakes I see when it comes to true athletic development is a lack of proper progression. This lack of proper progression consists of teaching athletes the very basic fundamentals of training and movement. The first one I see often overlooked on a regular basis is a lack of fundamentals being taught in the weight room. Weightlifting does not stunt growth. Weightlifting is not something that will hold your 8-year-old back from progressing over time. What will hold them back and cause issues is doing the incorrect things in the weight room and not having true progression for your athletes. Not only is this true for 8-year-olds, but it's also true for middle schoolers, high schoolers, college athletes, and even professional athletes. Teaching basic fundamentals and true progression from the beginning of each offseason is absolutely essential for an athlete to truly grow in that given offseason. Many athletes and coaches decide to take the season off when it comes to the weight room. Okay, sometimes this isn't true for higher level colleges and professionals, but this one is actually one of the biggest mistakes that you can possibly make for an athlete. It's a mistake because you lose what you gain during the off season, and if you're not doing anything in season, you're just losing. So I must regress here. What are some of the fundamental movements that must be taught in the weight room to limit injury, properly progress an athlete, and ensure proper movement mechanics? So number one would be push-ups. Can the athlete push themselves up from the ground through extension of the arms with proper movement of the scapula while engaging their glutes and their core? Can they eccentrically control their body on the downward phase? All too often, I see very poor fundamentals when it comes to actually doing proper push-ups. And then pull-ups. Can an athlete perform a full pull-up with extension at the bottom and full flexion at the top? If they can't, are they being progressed properly by using a band or a spotter to help them through the full range of motion and not just limited range of motion? Squats. Can the athlete perform a parallel squat without any type of weight for resistance without creating valgus at the knee, collapsing at the arch of the foot, pushing their center of mass forward, or just dropping their chest? Hip hinges. Can the athlete hinge at the hip? Meaning, can they sit their butt backward at the hip while maintaining a flat back, engaged core with a slight bend at the knee? This is essential, but always overlooked when it comes to preventing long-term low back issues for an athlete. And planks. Can the athlete hold an actual plank? A plank is a simple yet very effective core strengthening exercise that is performed incorrectly so often. I always see a lack of neutral spine, lack of actually engaged core, no activation of the core, glutes not firing properly, and no retraction at the scapula. These are 5 very simple exercises that any athlete should begin their off-season training with to make sure they are performed correctly over and over before progressing to anything that looks cool. From here, you progress and grow. Some athletes will be performing these for a long time, and others will not be performing them as long at all. Training age and their ability to adjust and grow will determine the length of that. Lifting weights is not about how much weight an athlete is lifting, but how they can functionally move to help them progress properly throughout their lives. You can expect more information like this and more by commenting performance below to get in our private Facebook group where we're going to share more information like this.